morning, Taiwan, and thank you for sharing your day with us. I am Louisa Lee, here to keep you informed and entertained. 欢迎收看 Louisa 报报，每天给你最新最有趣的新闻。And first, an update about the ongoing rescue effort in the Philippines. With 92 people still missing, emergency workers are desperately searching through landslide sites for survivors after a 6.7 magnitude earthquake shook Negros Island on Monday, bringing the death toll to 48. The nation's government troops have been deployed to carry out search operations, which are being hampered by the aftershocks. 菲律宾地震后搜救行动还在进行当中，但是还是有92人下落不明。And to prevent further violence on the streets, the first democratically elected president of the Maldives, Mohamed Nasheed, has stepped down on Tuesday. Meanwhile, his vice president has sworn in as head of state, vowing to uphold the rule of law. Maldives 在群众示威好几个星期之后，昨天爆发政变，总统 Mohamed Nasheed 宣布辞职，由 vice president 接任。
After 3 years in office, Maldives President Mohamed Nasheed resigns. In a statement on Tuesday, Nasheed said he was handing over power to his vice president. He said he refused to use force to quiet growing protests and a police mutiny led by former President Momen Abdul Qayyum, who ruled the Indian Ocean archipelago for 30 years. Nasheed came to power in 2008 and is credited with bringing true democracy to the tropical tourist destination. But he was unable to squash protests after ordering a top criminal court judge arrested for being in the pocket of Qayyum ahead of presidential elections next year. Opposition leaders, who are using hardline Islamist rhetoric to win support, have also accused Nasheed of being anti-Islam. Nasheed, who has a long-standing rivalry with Qayyum, was jailed for 6 years and arrested 27 times by Qayyum's government for his pro-democracy activism.
And now to health news. Based on a research from the U.S., eating less protein combined with consuming excess calories may keep the numbers low on the bathroom scale. However, you may end up losing lean body mass as well. 最近有个研究显示，如果饮食中蛋白质含量太低，就算吃进去的热量很高，有可能会让你的身体里的瘦肉组织变少。
In a controlled experiment, researchers put 25 volunteers on a weight-stabilizing diet for 2 to 3 weeks before assigning them to a diet composed of 5%, 15%, or 25% protein, and stuffing them for 2 months with 40% more calories than the weight-stabilizing diet had required. As expected, everyone put on weight, with each of them gaining around 7.5 pounds of fat mass. However, the result for lean body mass were different. The high-protein group and medium-protein group gained 7 and 6.3 pounds of lean body mass, respectively. The low-protein eaters, surprisingly, lost 1.5 pounds of lean body mass. Researchers said that it's because the body can't get sufficient protein, and it has to get protein from lean body mass. And researchers suggest that those who want to maintain their lean body mass, which is known to be linked to metabolic rate, should have sufficient protein intake.
And soon, living on the ocean for good could become a reality. A think tank in California has a big goal set on developing sustainable cities on international waters. 在加州有个公司，现在正在规模要盖浮在海上的城市，非常的神奇。我们一起来看看吧。
California's Seasteading Institute believes countries of the future will be built on the ocean. These nations will be fully sustainable, self-governing floating cities, designed as havens for research and innovation. The Institute's president, Michael Keenan, says the most successful will become thriving new societies. It's an idea, he says, whose time has come.
There is no one kind of government for everyone, no one ideology for everyone. And so, if there were a new space to start governments, we would see an ideal society for everyone. But there's no more land. However, 70% of the world's surface is covered by ocean, and it's unclaimed. It's international waters. So the Seasteading Institute strives to create new countries on floating islands in international waters.
Keenan says this is no idealistic pipe dream. PayPal's billionaire founder Peter Thiel has donated more than $1.5 million to the institute, and other wealthy donors are following suit. The design of these offshore communities will be led by Institute engineer George Petrie. He says much of the technology to build floating cities already exists.
Why don't we just utilize what is so readily available to us by colonizing the surface of the sea and positioning ourselves to intelligently take advantage of the resources that the open oceans, the bounty that the oceans offer us.
Petrie says the floating cities will be modeled after semi-submersible oil platforms.
So even in very inhospitable, very stormy sea conditions, the platform will remain very stable, very minimal motion. One would hardly know that they were on a floating body.
He says the cities will be able to expand by linking on new modular parts, much like Lego pieces. Petrie says solar power, wind turbines, and other cutting-edge technology will supply the floating cities with power.
In a decade, you'll start to see custom-built semi-submersible platforms resembling oil rigs, and in a few decades, huge cities the size of Hong Kong on the ocean, with millions of people living in very diverse, very effective and efficient societies on the ocean.
And the Institute's ideas are already taking off. A company called Blue Seed is converting an ocean liner into what it says will be a floating version of Silicon Valley. With no visa requirements, it's designed to attract foreign talent to develop new technologies. The ship is scheduled for launch late next year, the first of what Michael Keenan hopes will be hundreds of seasteads created over the next several decades. Keenan admits it's an ambitious idea, but one that will eventually offer millions of people the opportunity to choose a country that suits them best.
And now to movie news. They may not be famous, but they got superpowers. Teens with extraordinary abilities in Chronicle contributed to a stellar $22 million at the box office, just enough to beat the world's most popular teen wizard, Daniel Radcliffe's new horror thriller, The Woman in Black. 本周的北美票房前5名中就有3片是新片，而其中拿下冠军的正是在台湾也同步上映的《超能时空》。
Last weekend's North American box office has seen strong performances from new releases. Science fiction flick Chronicle debuted at $22 million, which is the 4th highest Super Bowl opening ever. Chronicle is the latest example of the economic viability of the found footage genre. The movie nearly doubled its production budget, which is $12 million through its first 3 days. And according to distributor 20th Century Fox, Chronicle's audience was 55% male and 61% under the age of 25, and overall it received a B cinema score. Harry Potter star Daniel Radcliffe's new flick, The Woman in Black, followed closely with a $20.9 million start at number 2, a nice hit for rookie distributor CBS Films. The supernatural thriller effectively targeted the younger female audience with a creepy spookfest and connected brilliantly by generating excitement that got people into theaters. It tells the story of a young lawyer who travels to a remote village, discovers that the vengeful ghost of a scorned woman is terrorizing the locals. Last weekend's number 1, The Grey, fell 53% to $9.3 million at number 3. That's a much steeper decline than that of Liam Neeson's Taken or Unknown, though it has grossed $34.5 million so far. Big Miracle opened in 4th place with $7.8 million. With audience being primarily moms and younger girls, the film revolves around a news reporter who launched a campaign to save a family of gray whales trapped by rapidly forming ice in the Arctic Circle. Underworld Awakening rounded out the top 5 by falling 56% to $5.5 million, with a total of $54.2 million.
And actor and director Ralph Fiennes has won great applause for his modern-day adaptation of William Shakespeare's tragedy Coriolanus, a film that drips with masculine aggression. 本周要上映的由 Ralph Fiennes 的自导自演的《王者逆袭》，他演出性格暴力的将军，跟 Gerard Butler 有精彩的对手戏。
My name is Caius Marcius Coriolanus.
A hero on the battlefield, but a man despised outside the combat zone. As a first-time director, Ralph Fiennes also plays Coriolanus, a military hero of Rome. However, his disdain and his lack of warmth toward common people eventually gave him a bad name. Banished from Rome as a traitor, he sides with his enemy, the Volscian warrior played by Gerard Butler, to wreak revenge on his former homeland.
You are a traitor to the people.
Right. Traitor. Call me traitor.
Marcius is worthy of death!
I will fight against my country.
And then men die. You are not my son.
Coriolanus has grown from man to dragon. Make you a sword of me! Sweet as marinette.
And Coriolanus is hitting the big screen this Friday. And that's it for today's edition. I am Louisa Lee, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Meanwhile, don't go anywhere to catch the latest about the weather and for more top stories.